Hello, hello, good evening, everybody. We're back after a week break. Yeah, a week. It's MRC Tier 2, and it is Season 9. We have made it to Season 9. 9 seasons of MRC. Amazing. We are here today for the season opener in Mexico. Of course, we've just witnessed a less than interesting race yesterday in real F1. I'm sure today's race in Tier 2 will be a million times better, especially if you're a Mercedes driver, or a Ferrari driver, or even a Haas driver. Who knows? I'm joined by someone you might have heard of if you're familiar with MRC streams. This is Gavin Pinkham, Gavin Jenkins, the Banshee Supreme, Night Shadow, and the darling Scottish baby David Coulthard, whatever you want to call him. He is here and he's back, but he's ill. Gavin.
The one and only. I would love to say that I'll be singing Chesney Hawkes, but I can't get that high.
I tell you what, I really can't get over the deep voice. I can't.
We've gone husky. This is what has been achieved.
Husky.
Do you know who I sound more like right now? I sound like Rob.
Rob's impression of you.
Yes. I sound like Rob's impression of me. So clearly, what I have been able to achieve is Genie's fluentness.
With a drama whiskey.
Oh, well, with a dram of whiskey, yes, that is exactly what it is. My name is Bond. James Bond.
Sean Connery style.
There we go.
Speaking of Genie, he's one of many drivers whose allegiance to certain teams has wavered over the 1 week October break, which is a bit more dramatic than it actually should be, but of course we'll come back to that. The first car on track is an AlphaTauri. Is that Womax, or is it?
I think it's Tom Brown.
It's Tommy Brown.
It's Tommy Brown.
Tom Brown.
I do like the fact that he's chosen an AlphaTauri. I mean, the Tier 3 Constructors Champions from last season.
Well, as someone in this comms box had a part in that, and it wasn't me.
I thought you were going to say it wasn't me. Well, I would have agreed with you.
I was going to say, how does it feel to win a Constructors title? Me and Bergen flopped it to 4th in Tier 1, so I can't really empathise with you.
It was good. It was a really difficult season. Lots of challenges from Connor and his Ferrari.
The clown, Bill.
But him, Anaconda, and the bottle. Apparently, I think he's a bit like what was it, Genie in the Bottle by Anastasia.
That was a very good song, actually.
It was indeed. But yeah, so it was good. Aim this year to win the Constructors for Alfa Romeo alongside Connor.
Indeedy, I bet you're looking forward to it in the same way that I'm sure we all are. Make sure if you're here supporting a friend or just looking forward to some good YouTube action, get your comments into the YouTube chat and I might read them out if I pay attention enough. Or if I'm feeling cheeky, which I always am. Anyway, Tommy Brown flying through the same section to start a lap. Let's jump on board with the BTEC Red Bull. It is the AlphaTauri. So it's the longest straight in Formula 1, I believe, the run down to Turn 1 here. It's the longest run from the lights to Turn 1 on a race start, at least, in the current calendar. Monza's the only one that comes slightly close. Tom brakes very late for Turn 1. Big twitch on the way in. He's gone slightly deep, but he's got away with it. But it's compromising slightly through Turns 2 and 3. Again, the run to Turn 4 is quite a long one. Double DRS. The detection zone is at the final corner, so really crucial way to get past and then defend the position, especially if you're running a low drag setup here. You do want to make sure you're in that DRS detection or not vulnerable for it at least. The double right hander there of 6 and 7, very clumsy corner. I don't like it myself, but he's made it through neatly. Middle section, now this is where you need to have a little bit of downforce. You'll find out very quickly who is running a low drag or a high drag setup. Tom looks to be running relatively high drag compared to most. He's got that quite neat and tidy there. Now the stadium section, in real life this must be phenomenal. Coming into this crowd, the wall and wave of sound and noise and drama. And then the final corner, again, bit of a clumsy tight one. The wall and the exit caught Valtteri Bottas out a couple of years ago in qualifying. And across the line, there's a great banker from Tom, a 17.2. It's a fantastic start for the session, actually.
It's a really good time. I mean, I've just been watching Mark as he's in his McLaren back home. He's just coming through. He is indeed. 208 miles an hour he hit down the straight and goes 118.0. But again, he's got more time. He's got more time there, I can tell you that.
Yes. Fox has just popped it into P2, the 17.9. So straight away, these tier 2 boys are not fannying around. They're getting straight on with it.
Where's Anti-Fanny?
I swear Tom Brown, 17.2, I thought he did. I might be going crazy here. 17.2 is a cracking lap from Tom. So 17.9 from Fox. Simba with an 18.6. Gingini 18.2. Getting some quick laps in straight away. Monster nearly having a moment with Gingini at turn 1 there.
Yeah. I'm just watching Cilla Black come round the final corner as she goes into 7th.
Mr. Fanning. Fanning was P2 at the end of the season last season, so he'll be looking to go one better this season. The person who beat him was a certain Calvinio Macatrino. That's not his actual name, it's just Calvin Mac. Colin's Owl, Calvin's Bird, whatever you want to call him. He's in the Red Bull. I don't know, someone must have hit him hard on the head because he's gone from Ferrari to Red Bull. I don't know why anyone would do that, but, you know. He's done it. Anyway, he's currently on his lap in the final section. He's gone a bit deep into the hairpin of the stadium, but he's recovered it, so we move. I'm finding track limits here are very... nasty is probably the word. It's very easy to invalidate or ruin a lap as Calvin pops in an 18.2. What's your thoughts, Gav? It's definitely tricky.
It's one of those circuits where you just need to be absolutely tidy, but the problem is you can be tidy and lose a lot of time. Now, going through 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, you can lose so much time there, but you can make so much time up in that 1, 2, 3 complex as well. But you said about rear wing and drag. Mark hit the end of the straight 209 miles an hour, but car looked a little bit unsettled. But then Tom Brown could be going, try 1-0 wings round here, it's fun.
Maybe. But use 1-0 wings at Miami as you famously like to preach, and well, one does not quite agree with you on that. Stubalicious, the latest member of the Willy Boy Society, is starting his lap in the Williams. He's got his ERS turned off though. I can see here he's not using his ERS on the run to turn 1. Stubio, that's going to cost you a lot of lap time. He's not even hit 202 miles an hour at the end of the straight. That's going to cost you a lot, Stubby. Get that ERS button on. Get the power. Of course, Williams are your second favourite team shortly after the Alpine team, of course. The French baton. But speaking of Latin languages, they speak Spanish here. What's your Spanish like? Are you any good at Spanish, Mr. Jenkins?
Wait a minute. España.
Is that Why Delilah, but with a Spaniard?
Yes.
Yes. See, comprende.
If I wasn't so husky tonight, I would have necessarily went a little bit more high-pitched. However, I can't.
It's okay. Please rest your voice, darling. I'd rather you saved it for another day.
I will say one thing though.
Go for it.
if I can. It looks like, and I'm only saying this because I can't see, the 2 Ferraris and the 2 Aston Martins side by side, and the 2 Hasses next to each other on the track. So the 2 Astons 7th and 8th, the Ferraris 10th and 11th, and the Hasses slightly abysmally in 14th and 15th.
Yes. Speaking of the Hasses, I'll refrain from using the name I like to call the Hasses. But Carlins and Jacob, the Fire Rooster, they are it's quite a threatening partnership there. You've got someone who's got outright pace in Jacob and really likes to attack people, and then you've also got the long game player in Carl who likes to play the strategy and put himself in position to capitalise later on. It's very like Verstappen and Perez. I think that's quite a good partnership. It could cause some problems for other teams later in the season.
I think it will. I think you're right. I think there's a good number of strong people in this tier and a good number of strong lineups, which I think will take points off each other as the season progresses.
Yes, exactly the same with Tom Brown and Womack. You've got Tom Brown, who's the attacking Verstappen Hamilton-esque driver, and then you've got Womack. Again, he's a bit more of the long game team player. Not saying he's slow by any means, because he's definitely not. He's a former Tier 1 driver, and he came, I believe, top 5 in the Tier 2 standings last season, so he's by no means a slouch, but You've got a good mix in style and approach there. Again, you've got Team Rocket, as I'm calling them, the Team Hornet. You've got Baby Hornet, aka Simon, or Simone. And then you've got Chris Hornet, aka Cristiano, because we're in España. The Brothers in Arms at Alfa Romeo. Are we going to have brotherly love fighting together, or are we going to have absolute fireworks?
Well, right now, the baby of the two of them is outperforming the older one.
He is, which is contrary to what I said last Wednesday in the Race of Champions. When I will
say one. I'm going to say one other thing.
Uh-oh.
I was just on board with Alex, and he cut the inside of turn 9, but he didn't get invalidated.
He's 4 tenths up on his lap, so this is intriguing.
This would put him third.
He is a very good one-lap specialist, as Alex. I liken him to Jarno Trulli, and he does go third. Good spot. 117.4. 100th off of Sander Hoseman, who's in the Mercedes this season, in P2. Let's have a little jump on board with Hodge, who's... I don't think he's on a lap, I think he's on a cooldown lap. Hodgie in his favoured McLaren this season, as he was last year.
While you watch him, I will watch Mr. Simba.
Actually, is Simba on lap? Because Hodgie's not at the moment. Let's jump on board with the fiery Ferrari Lion. Actually, I'm going to look at single track. Single track's just a little bit further on the lap than Simba.
You do that. So Simba, yep, you do that.
Yeah, so Simba and single track have both joined the Faza Ferrari, the Italian Stallions, this season. Both formerly McLaren drivers, so that's an interesting one. That they've both made the jump to Maranello. Racing together in Tier 2, obviously good friends, both part of the backbone of the league, so it'd be interesting to see how they perform as a partnership. Martin doesn't improve on his lap. Let's jump back and see Simba.
Simba is half a second quicker at the moment.
Promising lap, so this will put him somewhere around the edge of the top 10 if he matches his final sector.
I'm going to suggest this will move him 8th.
Calvin pops in a 17.0 in the Red Bull to pop him provisionally on pole position, cracking that from the Calvin. And Simba posed P13 with an 18.3, didn't quite find the time in the final sector.
He lost it just coming through that chicane at turns 13 and 14.
Easily done, easily done. So, another person that I've a little mention for, RS10, Rasha. He's in Tier 2 this season. He's stepped up, having previously been in lower tiers. He's keen to try out lower assist settings, and that's partly why he's jumped up the tiers. He's definitely not a slouch either. He's got plenty in him. He just needs a bit of confidence and just to give it a bit more, really, in that respect. Just push a bit harder and keep trying. That's the Jay Sage school of coaching, by the way. If you're not doing well enough, just go faster. Just try harder. Speaking of Rush, he's just gone straight on at the entrance to the stadium section. So we'll jump on board with somebody else who can be fined, who's not...
Rotterdam's just taken a very interesting line through the chicane, through the stadium.
He went straight on at the final sector. Yes. Hello, Anthony Hooks, who's a new Tier 1 driver, just stepping up from Tier 2, and Maundy, happy to be back in the McLaren.
Is Ant Hooks the one that's living in France, but's an Englishman?
Yes, that's the one, and LFC, I believe.
And he's... Hold on, was he the Netto boy?
That's the one. Bonsoir, monsieur Ant. Comment ça va? There's some French. Gav will be happy now. Sorry, Gav.
Comment ça va, boss?
Ah, oui. C'était un. It is him.
Oui.
Très bien. Magnifique. Oui, c'était magnifique.
We've got Mr. Danny of Tier 4 has arrived. The man who...
Ça va bien, monsieur, vous?
No, he's certainly not French. He is a Scottishman like myself.
Oui, Scotsman. I tell you, no, I don't know what's worse, my Scottish accent or my Scouse accent, but I tell you, no, they're both terrible. Speaking of Scouse, Fanning's on an outlet.
Well, no, her new name is Cilla Black. For the whole season, Fanning has to be referred as Cilla.
Surprise, surprise! There you go. I'll carry it for you, seeing as you're struggling with the voice today. I'll carry that for you.
Well, I was going to say it would more sound like surprise, surprise. which doesn't quite have the oomph to it.
No. And speaking in lovely French, so la prochaine fois je vous rejoins dans les commentaires, ça sera pas simple par le français, je pense. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I'm going to say that Chris is amazing and great at French. That's what I'm taking that as.
You're optimistic.
I am fantastic. Well, it's got to be. It's the start of the new season. Anyone who's not optimistic is either driving in a Haas or in the safety car waiting for the crash at turn 1, which, let's be honest, is going to happen.
I think you should go on board with Womax because he's just about to start his fast lap.
Let's do it. So, Ilian Womax. Where's Womax from? Is it Bulgaria's from? Was it Hungary? I do forget, and I probably should know this. Do you know?
Is he not Polish?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't want to be wrong and state something that's not there. So, he's giving us a little weave on the straight. He knows he's on stream. He loves it.
He's not running a fast lap, I can tell you.
No, he's not got the ERS on. Damn it, Ilian, what are you doing? Let's find someone else. Lorpy's on outlap. Floppy Loppy has left Williams for Alpine, by the way. Womax is from Bulgaria, apparently. So Lorpy, Floppy Loppy left Williams for Alpine. That is punishable for life by death.
Silla's just went 7th.
Silla, who's the partner of Floppy Loppy. Tom Brown! Wow! 16.7. Thomas Brown, would you please calm down? Please calm down. That is a disgusting lap time. And
very much agree.
Wow. He has, I mean, we all know Tom Brown over a single lap has got pace to give anyone a real run for their money, but that's taking the mick, my friend. I don't know if I can match that, to be honest with you. I did 16.8 earlier, and I don't know if I can match that. Anywho, Hoseman, we haven't mentioned Sander yet. He's in the Mercedes, just on the outlap as well. Alex Jarrett's in Aston Martin this year, partnering the one and only Robert Jean of Genie, NHS's fastest racing driver. Fanning taking a wide line there. Fox River 8. So, Jake is back after obviously being very busy last season, not being able to make regular races. He's back and he's in the Red Bull, and less said about that the better. Marky Poo Hodgemeister is dropped down to Tier 2 following his season in Tier 1. Didn't have his best season, and despite a lot of us saying that he should have kept himself in Tier 1, he's one of the several drivers who have changed tiers this season and looks to regain his confidence, hoping to re-attack Tier 1 next year. Currently in P11, let's see what Hodge can do in the second half of this lap. He's currently P11 with an 18.0. I think you're right from what you said earlier, he's got plenty of time in that car still. Rotterdam's retired from the session, he's lost it somewhere. Looks like he's lost it at turn 1.
He's done a Fernando.
Oh, Fernando. Anyway, Hodgie is nearly half a second up. This would put him somewhere around 6th or 7th, depending on how his final sector goes. Well, it's quite congested from 3rd to 6th. It's very tight, actually. Just noticed. So 4th to 7th, actually. And Mark goes 7th, so he joins that little group.
And just 8th now. Because call me the brave AK Dare has popped into P7 in the Williams. I now need to become a Dare fanboy because he's in the Williams. I have to support him. He's part of the William Illuminati alumni fandom. Are you desperate?
No.
Because you would only be desperate if you wanted to support him.
Well, no, he's part of the Williams group. I will support him. I support Mr. Dare.
Although, whilst you've just reminded me of something, ladies and gentlemen, do check in on time and you will get a race seat. Don't check in on time, you won't.
This is very true. Not going to name any names.
Useful reminder.
Oh, Lopey's just lost in the final corner. Lopey, Floppy Lawrence. Oh dear. Single track pops it to P10, but immediately dropped to P11. Fox River jumps up P7. Simmer's currently P6. Hoseman has bought his lap. Tom looks like he's going to hold on to pole. With Rumax ever so close, well pointed out by Vortex, just over 100th in it between Rumax and Tom Brown. Cracking lap. Has Calvin got anything on the end of this lap here? No, he didn't. Although he did brake before the line. I don't know if he actually had anything in him. A bit of an interesting one from Calvin there. And I believe that is your loss, everybody. So, unless anything weird happens to the game, like glitches, but we won't talk about that. Tom Brown and Womax and Alpha Tauri, as you said earlier, a very good partnership, have locked out the front row, both on the 16.7. Now that's one for the books. I did not expect that from qualifying.
I think we are going to have a very interesting race with a mixture of strategies. I think the dark horses in this race, I think Simba is a dark horse, and I think Mr. Hodgson is a dark horse. Yes, exactly. Pumbaa in his Ferrari.
Pumbaa indeed. So we'll come back to strategy shortly, but quickly, here is your grid. Tom Brown, less than 200ths ahead of P2 in Rumax's teammate. P3, the man from Eastern Europe, living in the Middle East, Alex Ajarek, followed by Calvin, your reigning Tier 2 champion, who's remained in Tier 2 for this season. Hoseman, the Dutch stallion in the Mercedes, is in P5, with Simba, the reigning Tier 3 champion, P6. Returning Fox River escapee is in P7. Dare, P8. Mark Hodgson returns Tier 2 in P9, with Lorpy, Single Track, Genie just behind him. Fanning, 5J Rooster, Stoob, Baby Hornet, Rotterdam, Dumbest Hornet, Carlins, and Monster the Monster round up the grid. Okie dokie. So at this point, we're going to make our usual prediction of what is going to go wrong by predicting who's going to win, and obviously that is therefore the curse. Gav, who are you cursing? Who do you think is going to win?
Tom Brown.
He's going to hate you. I'm going to go with Alex Ajarek, you know. I think he's a good shout.
He was number 2 for me.
Oh, so that's double curse in that case. Okay.
So
I like that.
if I were Calvin, Hosepipe, Mark, and Jake, I'd be worried about going into turn 1.
I'd be worried if I was any single person on this grid right now. Because it looks like we've got a bit of a glitch. I believe we've frozen.
No. Shouldn't have.
Don't have a timer.
Oh. We'll just see if it fixes
hold
itself.
tight. Yeah, let's hold tight. Whoever's not clicked X on their screen, please do so.
Alex has said, my game froze.
Has the curse struck early? Oh dear. Strategy-wise, we'll talk about strategy while we wait and see what's going on, but strategy-wise, interestingly, the 2-stop and the 1-stop, there's only about 10 seconds maximum difference between the two, regardless of what combination of tyres you choose to run in that strategy. So if you're struggling with tyre wear or you're stuck in traffic and just fancy gambling, it's not a bad shout to start on the softs and just try something different. We can go on the medium to the soft and then try again. There we go, we're now moving. Wonderful stuff. Alex Ajarek, get yourself back in the session fast, my friend. Bergen says 5-stop with 5 wing changes. Well, we're not J-Sarge. We're not going to do that. Only joking, Jason. We love you, really. Well, sometimes. Anywho. So, pop in your YouTube chat comments now, everyone, who you think is going to be the race winner today, or who you're supporting, or just if you think someone is going to be a dark horse. Gavin says that Simba or Hodgie are dark horses. I think he might be right.
I would agree with myself.
That's a very controversial opinion there. Very controversial. Did not see that coming.
No, neither did I, to be fair. Let me tell you, just whilst we're in the way, that Mexico is actually sinking.
Of course, it's below sea level. Most of the country.
Well, it's not just the fact that they're maybe fat because they eat tacos and drink lots of tequila. Now, I'm not making an insinuation that they're lazy. but actually it is indeed sinking. So yeah, there you go, folks. The ground beneath your tyres going under.
Indeed. Well, while it's still on the top of the surface, today is Halloween, of course. Happy Halloween, everybody. We all love any excuse to dress up and have fatty sweets and candy, as they say in that part of the world, or sucre, being sugar in Mexico, the Spanish-speaking country. One little sweet treat for you today, everyone, is Single Track is going to emulate what half the grid did in real life and start on the soft tyre. The only drivers to do so. The rest of the grid look pretty evenly split between the medium and the hard. And there's the AWS graphic, perfect timing. It knows the 2-stop, 1-stop permutation. Obviously, you can do soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, hard, soft, medium, soft, whatever you like. It should be slightly slower than the optimum strategy on the single stop between medium, hard, hard, medium. But obviously that depends on your ability to keep the tyres working and your pace. If there is a safety car, don't be surprised to see people radically changing what they intend to do.
Interesting one of them is that Mr. Single Track has gone for the softs.
It is interesting indeed.
So he's gambling on an early safety car.
He is. There is your trick or treat option from the Single Track. Or is he going to go for the 2-stop and gamble like hell that the safety car comes for him?
No.
You know, it's only 10 seconds different. He could do. Keep himself out of trouble.
I don't think he will. I think he is going soft hard.
I mean, we all love going hard at the end.
We do indeed.
Indeedy. So,
I'm going to let you do your curtain call as they line up on.
I'll avoid doing my through goes Hamilton moment for you. I know how much you enjoyed that in the Race of Champions.
Well, that never happens anyway because he doesn't go through. He just goes back. And he doesn't win.
Did you watch yesterday? He went forwards.
Yes.
He went forwards indeed. Anyway, we have some lights. They're on. We have 3, 4, 5, and we are racing in Tier 9. Tier 9, Season 9. Jump start from Monster. What's up in there? Oh, Tom Brown had a big moment off the start. Alex is flying down towards turn 1. Womax and Simba are there too.
Awful start from Tom Brown.
We've got the worst cameras I've ever seen in my life. We're at the back, but anyway, we're finally to the front. Womax on the inside of Alex and Sherrick. Womax into turn 1. Ooh, Alex is struggling to reconnect and he's ghosting. Yep. Simba's up to P2. What a start from the Lion King.
Yeah, I did say he was a dark horse, and Mark as well, up to 6th.
Marcus is up to P6, Calvin P7. The Rooster is up to P8. Tom Brown's got to P9 from pole position. An absolute disaster for the AlphaTauri man.
Hosman's round into turn 4 and 5.
Jacob went a bit wide as well, trying to fight alongside Tom Brown. Desperate to make his way back to the field. Tom's at the moment. Tom's gone round the edge of 7 and 8. Fanning is through past him, as is the Fox. That is Foxy Bingo, Fox River, the escapee from prison. So, at the moment, back of the pack, we've got Single Track down to 18th. He's also had a bit of a disastrous start, just as has Hosman. The Mercedes duo, you'll be glad to see in 19th and 20th, your favourite car.
That's where they deserve to be.
Womax, though, flying away, 1.6 ahead of Simba at the end of the first lap. That's vital with the slipstream being so powerful. To jump on board with Simba, you can see how far Womax has pulled on him already. Simba himself has got seconds to Corbin the Brave in P3. He's got nearly 2 seconds to Calvin, who's got in turn over a second to Rooster. Side by side down the main straight towards turn 1 with the Hodge on the outside in the McLaren. What can Hodgie do in turn 1? Looks like Hodgie's playing safe.
This is an interesting battle because this is hards against mediums.
It is. If you look behind, there's a huge train behind these guys. Hodgie on the hard tyre at the moment shouldn't have the pace to match Jacob, but the slipstream really does help. And obviously we know that Hodge is no slouch. Oh, thinks about having a look at the inside as turn 6 there. So turn 5 into 6 and 7. And you can see the medium tyre having so much better grip mid-corner and on the traction on corner exit, flying away. Speaking of good traction, Single Track's made 3 positions up since we last saw him in P18. The soft tyre firing up nicely on that Ferrari.
The 2 Alpines, 7th and 8th, going well. But Tom Brown's gone round again.
No Thomas.
He has indeed.
Oh dear.
You know how you said, let's put the curse on people. He's going to blame you now.
He is. And Alex is in P14. He was my prediction, so that's gone wrong. Simba, Calling the Brave, Rumax and Calvin all setting a fastest lap individually. Calvin the last of which to set it, slightly faster than all the ones before him. Those four at the front are pulling away. Interestingly, Rumax and Simba on the hard tyre both seem to have good pace relatively to the Williams and the Red Bull behind, but not enough to pull away as such. DRS does come into effect later in this lap, so turns 1 and 2 and 3 before that, and after it there's a DRS zone which is activated through the stadium section. Fajay Reese's nowhere near getting in the DRS of Calvin at the moment.
Martin's up to 12th now.
Those soft tyres really are heating up fast and well.
My only concern is he's gambling on a safety car that isn't going to come by the looks of things.
Yeah, personally I found the soft tyre lasts, 7-8 laps, and then after that it's pretty damn poor. So if Martin wants to make some real ground, he needs either, like you say, a safety car pretty damn quick, and there's a monster round in the middle sector, and we've got an AlphaTauri. Thomas round again. Thomas round again. Oh, Thomas, not again. And Martin does need a safety car though.
Once you've spun once or twice, you may as well go into the pits.
Indeed. Carlin's the Bitmeister has dropped into P18. Looks like he's having a bit of traction trouble on the rear end of his Haas. Call Me the Brave now. Kill Me the Brave on the inside of Simba to turn 1. He's got that done. Simple piece of cake for the Williams man on the nicer tyre at the moment with DRS, and he'll have it coming out to turn 3 and the run down to turn 4. Just looking back from the Williams, flappy time is a go-go. Of course, he was in the flat zone of Simba on the previous straight, and he flies away.
But, and again, I've got to come back to this though. Remember, Call Me the Woosman is on the mediums, Simba on the hards, and Calvin on the mediums. So it's slightly unfair balance.
It is, and of course, Simba and Rumax on the hard tyre will both come into this race later on, I'm sure. But for the time being, Simba needs to stick with Call Me the Brave. That's his best form of defence against the charging Calvin. What I've got here is a battle of champions in Calvin and Simba. They both won their respective tier last season, both fighting tier 2 in what are class-leading cars in real-world F1. Simba goes a bit deep into the right-hander there before the stadium section. Calvin will smell blood. Simba should still get DRS from Call Me the Brave, but if Calvin can get a good run out the final corner, and depending on his wing levels, will he have a go into turn 1 or even turn 4? Simba's got fairly good drive out of the long right-hander to end the lap. DRS in action for Calvin. It's not in action for Simba, so Calvin should have an easy pass on the run down to turn 1. It should be an easy pass, and it is. Just jumping on board with Simba. He's played the sensible game.
I think this is where the mediums are starting to come into their own a bit more. The hards are obviously taking slightly longer. He's maybe just trying to eat them out to go to the softs at the end and let those medium runners just go.
Yeah, I think the best thing for Simba right now is just to hang on to these guys, let them drag him along, Slipstream and DRS being as powerful as they are here, use that to your advantage. Of course, Remax right now in P1 still maintaining a fairly comfortable gap. He's still got second and a half to the Busmeister, El Bravio. So Remax has got very good pace on the hard tyre, it has to be said, and he needs to make that work as long as he can. The medium tyre should go anywhere into the mid-teens, the hard tyre 20 to 21 laps. That's the prime for it, really. Right. Big shame here. Alex Ajeric says he's got PlayStation connection problems altogether, so it's a huge shame for him. He was looking very good in qualifying. Seriously, bad luck that is for Alex. We know how quick he can be. Hello, good evening, Mandy. Nice to see you as usual. Bergen popping in, also with his usual jokes. Good to see we've got some good friendly comments and involvement in the YouTube chat today. Let's keep it that way. No pornographic links, please.
Lockpee and Silla haven't really made much progress on Mark. They're still behind. They're not really getting very far with DRS.
No. I thought, bear in mind that Mark's within flap zone, as I'm calling it now, flap region, to the rear of him with Lope. I'd have thought he'd have made a move.
He has been for a while though, that's the thing.
Yeah, Fanning again on the mediums. Fanning tends to prefer high drag tracks. Conversations I've had in the past, when it's a high drag circuit with high fast flowing corners, Fanning comes into his own. Tracks like this, where you don't have a lot of those higher speed corners and you've got a lot of straights, he doesn't tend to enjoy them as much. So this isn't really his kind of track. When we get to tracks like Brazil, I expect Fanning to absolutely fly. But this isn't one of his favourites.
I think the soft tyres may be slowly going off Martin's Ferrari right now. He's just been passed by Hosepipe.
The closest fight on track right now, I can see the babiest of Hornets, currently the better of the two Hornet brothers, the lead press, I shall call him, all over the back of the Genie. He's making a nice little DRS pass on the run down to turn 1. Candy from a baby on Halloween from Baby Hornet. He even manages to retake his line for the brake zone on the racing line. He'll be a happy man.
Out of the front, the Williams has slowly started to reduce that gap. Now down to about second to Max. Calvin's just hanging on there, but he's pretty much all of his ERS.
Yeah, Brave and Womax both have about half battery charge each. So does Simba, who's now got the rooster of Jacob all up his, we'll call it gearbox. Fanning, the first driver to pick up a 3-second penalty for track limits. I'm surprised it's taken 7 laps. This is one of the hardest tracks to keep it clean with track limits on, as I'm sure anyone will happily remind you. Single track has just missed his pit stop, by the way. We have missed it. He's finally got rid of the soft tyres after 6 laps. So what I said earlier, 7-8 laps maximum, especially on the high tyres, higher fuel wear, sorry. Definitely harder to keep the tyres going. So I think bear mind he's on the mediums now, he's going for a T-stop. I can't see him taking the medium tyre 26 laps.
No, I wouldn't say that unless you have a safety car at some point. It's not going to work for you.
No, I can't see him taking it more than 18, frankly. Rumax now really under pressure. Dennis Hornet, the next driver to pick up a 3-second penalty. We have a yellow flag in the power sector. One of the Alfa Romeos has had a moment. I believe it's Dennis Hornet, but he's got it going now. Call Me the Brave within DRS of Rumax, and Calvin really not far away either. Simba's starting to slowly drop back.
Tom Brown just about looking at the back of Carl, but Carl's got some serious straight line speed in that.
He does. Collision between them. I can tell you now a little secret. Carl Edens has got a very low drag setup. He's running, I believe, 510 wings. Not to how you keep it too much there, Carl, but you know.
I mean, I'm going to have to say it. It's not working for him. He's been spun round. He's been, Andrew did well there just to get out of it. To be fair, Tom
and Andrew were both nice there.
Yeah, they were indeed. But it's not working for Carl. So, Carl, your experiment has failed.
Yes, back to the front. Rumax, Ilian of Bulgaria is now going to have to defend for his life. He's already trying to break the slipstream. Call Me the Brave within 3/4 of a second. It's risen up slightly though, so I think Brave got a bad exit from the final corner. Calvin also in close quarters. Of course, 1.2 seconds separates the three of them.
It's about 7 miles an hour of a difference between the non-DRS Alpha Tauri and the DRS Williams.
That's a significant amount, but not enough to really make a move. It's enough to find your lap time every lap consistently, but if you're wanting to get a pass done, that 20-mile-an-hour difference in DRS, that would suggest that Rumax is running fairly low drag, and Brave has probably got a bit too much drag on that Williams.
Past Tom Brown. He's going to Monster's just tapped Carl from the back.
Oh, Carl will be absolutely fuming.
Andrew just couldn't slow down quick enough, I'm afraid. Either that or Carl braked early, but I think it was just a little bit of bit late and a dollar short.
What's interesting is Calvin is now closer to Call Me the Brave than Call Me the Brave is to Rumax. Are the medium tyres starting to transition through their good phase into the graining phase with the Alpha Tauri on the hard tyres, now maybe on the better of the compounds? Because these two aren't catching at all, and the move doesn't look likely. If anything, it looks more likely that Calvin's going to pass Brave than either of them pass Rumax.
And I think Jacob's about to pass Mark.
He is. We've got Calvin closing in on Brave. Is Calvin going to send the late one into turn 1? He is gaining. but run out of ERS. Brave still has got a bit. Let's stay with the front for the time being. Calvin is hungry to pounce. Less than a second between the top three now. If Calvin had any ERS, you'd fancy him for a move here. Womack very deep into turn 4. That could compromise him for the rest of this lap. That could be the chance that Dare needs.
Mark's up the inside of Mark.
Mark on Mark.
No, Mark's just went back.
Mark my words. We need some Mark on Mark action. Mark my words.
Well, Simba is still in front. The Hodge is looking back though, and it's the fight of the hard boys. They're both hard, and they're both going for it.
Indeed, Call Me the Brave has had a bit of a messy middle sector.
Oh, Jacobs lost it in the middle sector as well.
Another man who had a messy middle sector was Call Me the Brave. Calvin having a look around the outside into the right-hander, into the stadium section. Now we go. What can Calvin do here?
You're watching that whilst I'm watching this. Simba Hodge. Loppy's trying to go round the outside in the stadium complex. That's not going to work.
Hoseman picks up a second batch of 3 seconds for time penalties. That's going to really cost him at the end of this race. Especially as he's in that fight with Hornet, Tom Brown, Monster and co. Tom Brown, of course, now picks up his 3 seconds, and Calvin picked one up on that lap as well. So, we're now seeing Fox Rivers jumped into the pits on the hard tyre. He must have some damage, surely. Why would you pit now on the hards?
He ended up, I think, getting impacted by Jacobs spinning the middle sector. Oh,
Fanning with a move on Mark now.
Yeah, exactly. So the Alpines.
I think Hodgie had a moment there at turn 2. Because, well, we've now got Genie and Lorpy all on him as well.
So the biggest, I'll say, loser at the moment, Simba has dropped 7 seconds behind the guys in front now. 2 or 3 laps ago that was 4 seconds. Now there's been some battling and that's contributed, but these 4 or 5 are tripping over each other and losing time on the rest.
Indeed, we are just under a third of the way into this race. We've got another yellow flag. It's one of the Alpha Romeos. Dumbest Hornets had a moment at the end of the first sector just between turn 4 and 5. Not good for the Hornet. And as you say here, Simba now back at, he's still ahead of Fanning. So Simba, Fanning, Hodge, Lorpy and Genie all with a very tight fight from 4th through to 8th. None of them hitting, they're all continuing for another lap. Genie with a Vettel-inspired helmet, by the way, I've just noticed.
I suspect that Silla will not get near that Ferrari.
No, as I mentioned earlier, Fanning likes a bit more of a wing up setup than a wing down setup. He likes to have good aerodynamics. He feels much more comfortable with a stable car. Hodgie, much low on the drag, however. But Fanning's pulled away from him on the straight there, actually, weirdly, despite the slipstream. So Fanning maybe has gone a bit lower than his usual wing setup. Lorpy and Fanning, both Alpine drivers on alternating strategies, so the Alpine baguette batons. Oh, Lorpy's round! Oh, Lorpy!
And he will not enjoy that in the slightest because he's on the hards. If he was on the mediums, come in now, put the hards on, but he's on the hards, he's got to keep going with them and they will feel horrible.
They will. The French Baton team have split the strategy. The good side of that is obviously as a team, you know, if one strategy favours the race more than the other, they can fight on, but of course that's not going to work if your tyres are dead. Cut back to the front, and Call Me the Brave did not get DRS on Remax this lap. Calvin got it, by the way, but isn't really close enough to fight. Remax is in really good position right now.
Lorpy's gone round again.
Lorpy and Stube have had a collision.
Yeah, so Lorpy ended up losing it in the stadium section again.
Stube's had to pit. Stube's got damage.
He has.
I'd expect the series to comment on that later on, but we'll leave that be.
Let's see if they change the wing. I think there is a wing change. There is indeed.
We're about to see some team orders, I believe. It's Mercedes HQ. The boys in Brackley are about to instruct Hoseman and Russia Rotterdam to work together. The boys from the Netherlands are going to need to communicate well here to run down to turn 4. Hoseman, Sander has got DRS and a slipstream on his teammate. It looks to me like... actually, it looks like Rush is fighting him a little bit. He's given a little squeeze. And he's gone... Actually, they're not communicating at all. They're fighting. Russia down to the inside! Collision between the two Mercedes boys. There was no teamwork at all. I take it all back. Rotterdam, El Rasha is fighting for himself. That silver arrow is an arrow, not an arrows. And he's now got to watch out because the monster that is Monster is all up his rear ring. With Tom Brown fighting back and Single Track as well fighting back just behind. So
the race is the race is in a bit of a
Tom Brown with a very late move on RS10 there on Russia. Very late move. We can't really comment on it too much. Yeah, it was a very late send from Tom. Of course, I'm not sure where he braked. I can't see that, but wow. Okay.
Late.
It was a bit of a late one, I'll be honest, but we'll leave that there. Baby Hornet fighting with Stoob. Stoob on the fight back on those new medium tyres on the back of the Baby Hornet on the relatively new hard tyres. And RS10, I believe, is at a moment at the pit entrance, is now flying into the pit lane. Right, back to the front. Remax still got Brave close behind him with Calvin also ready to pounce, but none of them in a position to fight. Both Brave and Calvin with DRS, but not close enough to really engage a battle. Manouche says teammates, does that exist in MRC? No. Well, I don't know. You and Simba were quite good teammates, I think. Myself and Bergen made quite a good pair. I'd say Fanning and Ryan of Redcar last season in McLaren Tier 2 were fairly good teammates. But I think we've seen some examples where maybe teammates aren't quite the best words for a partnership. Calvin has DRS this lap. Brave does not have DRS, interestingly. Could Calvin make a move in Tier 4? Sorry, Tier 4? Turn 4 even. Calvin does not belong in Tier 4, he's far too quick for that. Let's jump on board with the Red Bull. He's got a very bad exit from Turn 3 and it's really cost him. Brave is blown away. Cost him massively. Bergen also says that himself and Damalek in Tier 2 were a very good tier. Got tier even. They were. Good call.
Penalties now starting to come into things though.
Yes, let's have a little flick onto the
8 seconds for Tom Brown, of which 5 seconds of the severe collision. Loppy's got 5 seconds, Roseman's 6, Calvin's 3.
Less penalties than I thought we were going to have. I thought we were going to have more than that, to be honest.
But then we are only maybe just under 2/3 of the way into the race. No, we're over that.
Oh, just over that, yeah. I need to say some praise to Alex and Jarek and Xavier. They were also a good partnership, good teammates. You're right, Alex. I'm very sorry you're not in this race. Obviously, it's very sad to see.
Right,
you were my
Brave
pick you were my pick for the Central Race winner. And Brave you're right, Gav. Brave has bravely called to make a switch to the hard tyre.
20 laps.
That's plenty. I think he's gone a bit too long on the mediums, personally. I think he's missed an opportunity to undercut, probably waiting for a safety car. And he does go for the hard, so he's going for the one stop.
So what will be curious now is if Woomax doesn't have to, but if Calvin reacts to this.
Yeah. Fanning's also pitted in the Alpine. He's going to come out just behind Hoseman. There's Fanning coming out the pits now, behind Hoseman and Single Track. We know Single Track will have to pit again though. This medium tyres he's been on them already for 9 laps. We've just seen those guys do 15 laps on them. So surely that means Martin's only going to do another 5 or 6 laps, maybe put a soft with another medium on.
I predict a safety car lap 29.
29?
Yes.
Well, okay, Michael Massey. If you're right, I will do a shot of tequila after Tier 1. Of course, I would never do that because, as we all know, when you drive, never drink. As we all know. That is the Heineken saying.
Calvin does react.
Calvin, of course, knows full well how powerful the undercut is. Calvin Shaw, pops the hards onto that Red Bull. He's getting hard. Remax also on the hard tyre from the get-go out front. Simba out of P2. 11 seconds between Simba and Hodge and the race leader, Mr. Woomax.
I think he's done it. He's done it. Calvin has beat Brave.
Surely. So the overcut has worked in this case. It has by quite a way as well, actually. Brave's had a bad outlap.
I would rather be the I would rather do the overcut than the undercut in Mexico.
Yeah, so it's quite clear it worked. I found that worked in Miami, the end of season 8, when I was fighting Xavier. Sometimes the tyre warm-up just doesn't work, or if you get caught in that tiny bit of traffic, and I think Lorpy might have got in the way of Brave, that can be all you need. Although, as we're seeing now from Brave's point of view, his tyres are fired up. Calvin has no grip, no confidence on that hard tyre yet, and he's close right up to the back of that Red Bull. Calvin is going to have to defend for his life. As Brave is really... Look at him go! He's going for his left under... Oh, wisely Brave fails out of that one. That was the right thing to do from Brave.
That would have been foolish.
That would have been an airplane crash. Mark Webber on the Caterham and Valencia style airplane crash.
Yeah.
This is the flip side of when someone does the overcut and gets position, is now Brave's tyres are heated up, he's confident and ready to attack. Calvin has now got to plan pulling away from Brave somehow. We have got a yellow flag, by the way, and Mercedes has gone round. The hose pipe has leaked and gone round, but Brave's got a cracking exit out of the final corner. He hasn't even got the DRS yet, and he's already right with Calvin. Surely this is a done deal in turn 1. He switches to the inside, gives Calvin a little squeeze, and yeah, he's through. And he will get DRS out of turn 3 down to turn 4. So Brave should be able to hold that position. Calvin, now you've got your tyres heated up, give him what for. Lorpy just watching this on his very old tyres, keeping up and using the ERS and the DRS to hang along. Back to the front, Mark and Mark, M&M, Marshall and Mathers, still all over each other. Having a very polite fight without actually, you know, getting too fisty. Genie just watching from behind. When are these guys going to pit for the mediums? How brave are any of these going to be to get on the mediums? That's the question.
I was, funnily enough, thinking that exact question and thought I would say lap 21.
I say that's a fair time. Any lap now, one of them should be thinking undercut, let's be brave. The mediums will have a much better tyre warm-up, so they can afford to try it. Genie is now in flat range. I'm liking this new term, he's in flat range. Flaps ahoy.
Flapjack.
I'm not a fan of flapjacks, I'm more of a brownie kind of guy.
Well,
whatever takes your pickle.
There's certain brownie moments happen in MRC.
Oh, I've experienced a fair few. I don't know, you have too. Austria last season comes to mind.
Baby Hornet's had a moment, I think.
Oh,
or is it Dumbest Hornet, actually? I think it's Hornet. Baby.
It's a Hornet. It's a Hornet. It is Baby Hornet. No, it's not. Hold on.
No, it's not.
It's Dumbest. It's Dumbest.
The one. Yeah.
It's the dumb one rather than the young one. So we've got young, dumb, and... No, let's not do that.
Young, dumb, and...
full of yum? Let's go with that. Let's go with that and move on swiftly. Mandy's had a brownie, or loves a good brownie actually. Mandy's on my side here. Sorry, Gav, you've been outnumbered. We're going to stop the vote right there and say it's 2-1 to brownie over Flapjack. But Mark, Simba's in the moment and he's taking it. Oh my god, I thought he was going to have a collision into the wall there. I squeezed at everything.
That maybe wasn't gentlemanly.
I tell you what, Hodgie would have just said thank you very much. Through goes Hodgelton, and you really love that saying. Manouche agrees with Flapjack. I'm sorry, Manouche, but I'm not going to agree with you on this one, my friend.
He is on the ball.
Well, he's also a Liverpool fan, so I can just bring up Liverpool 1, Leeds United 2, and I believe that we've won the debate. End of. Anyway, so Simba's not quite in DRS range of El Hodgio, which I'm sure he'd love to be. If I was Simba, I'd be pitting this lap. If I was Hodgie, I'd also pit this lap, actually.
This is very interesting. And the reason it's very interesting is the gap between Simba and Brave is about 10 seconds. Now, pit stop's 22 seconds, so 12 seconds of a difference potentially. Easy enough to do on a set of mediums?
I think you could from here.
Yeah.
By the way, Lorpy, let's put some respect on Lorpy here. Lorpy has been on this tyre since the start of the race, as Rumax does pit, by the way, from the lead. Lorpy's been on this tyre since the start and is keeping with Calvin and Brave.
He's doing well.
He's doing a fantastic job in the Alpine. Right now, if there's a safety car or VSC at any point, Lorpy is laughing. But Wumax, Simba and Rooster all pit. Hodge takes the lead of the race by default. Wumax comes out, interestingly, ahead of Brave. So the undercut did not work for Brave, just like it didn't with Calvin. And Wumax has retained the race lead. He's still got no penalty, unlike the guys behind him, and he's now on newer tyres and the faster compounds. So, Wumax for the win? Looks pretty good right now. It's looking good for Wumax. Provided there's no safety car or no floppy moment from Wumax in the AlphaTauri, if he keeps it nice and clean, he's got to be looking good for a win here, surely.
I think he could do it, but I am still wary of a safety car in 8 laps.
We haven't had a single VSC or a full safety car yet, so
no,
that is not common for MRC. If you're not familiar with MRC, we love an accident. Well, I say love an accident, we're used to accidents. Jacob, by the way, he's gambled. The Haasmobile, he's got a soft on, he's gone for a softie. I think at this stage in the race, that's... oh, he's just left the session. He's got internet problems. I think that's a bit bold at this stage in the race to be on the soft. He's clearly got internet problems, so who knows, the game might pit him and put him back on the correct tyre. Stoob, the Willy boy, in P10. So both Williams were in the points. That's something we love to see, right?
Yes.
We've got a car round, by the way. This RS10 is round at turns 6 and 7. So he's not quite having the ideal racing as Mercedes debut in Tier 2.
Here's a thought for you.
Let's go.
Is Hodge going to go onto the softs?
Yes, I think Hodge is going just to go as long as possible and gamble on either safety car or just put the softs on and go for a run at the end. And I think that's quite a wise move, actually.
Wumax is not gaining much.
Well, we've got a yellow flag in the sector. Is that a Red Bull? It's gone round?
No.
No, it's not. Oh, it looks all clear now. Weird. Anyway.
These Mexican marshals.
They're just being a bit precautious. So Wumax is now making inroads. He's pulling away from the Brave and the Calvin. And Mark is pitting. Mark's pitting, so he's not going for the softs. He's going to go for the medium. But he clearly is just waiting for a gap. But let's just see what tyre he puts on. It looks like the medium to me. And it is. Team Papaya go for Team Medium. Wumax retakes the lead of this race. And speaking of taking liberties, both Alex Ajeric and Manouche both abusing me for Leeds fans. Behave well. Look, I'm a Leeds fan. I've got to get that in somewhere. Calvin Spun Ryan says, good spot from the Rambo. Alex Ajeric says, how we've gone 22 laps into a new season without a safety car. I agree, Alex. Absolute madness. I don't know how we've managed it. Call me the Brave, by the way. Now that Calvin has had that moment, has pulled away. Genie in P4 has undercut Mark by quite a way. So Genie's on the back of Calvin for a podium. Genie's on the medium tyre with Calvin on the hard. Calvin's also got a time penalty. So could we see Rob emulate what Vettel did in America just over a week ago with a fantastic race performance? Looks likely.
Yes.
You look like you're very unwilling to commit to a decision on that. You don't want to curse him, do you?
See, right now, I have a funny feeling something is going to happen imminently.
Yeah, well, Foxy Bingo, Simba and Hodge are all very close together. Hoseman's left the session, by the way. He's a long way at the back. I think he's having a bit of a mare today. We've got a come on Genie in the YouTube chat from Jim Vankard? We'll call him Jim. Oh, some guy called Jim. Someone called Jim!
What was the surname?
Jim will fix it is in the YouTube chat saying come on Genie.
What was the surname?
Vankard, who knows?
Vankard.
Something like that. We will call the Rob fan club is now being mentioned in the chat of YouTube's by Rob's teammate Alex, and Jim will fix it. Jim will fix it.
Sorry, Rob fan club RFC. Rangers Football Club. Are you taking?
Oh, he's played a blinder there. Alex Jarek, you've played a blinder, my friends. You are my favourite man in Qatar.
19th. He's in 19th.
He's my favourite man in Qatar right now. Anyway, Foxy Bingo. The escapee from a prison in Illinois has got a very, very angry lion with a prancing horse all over the back of him. What can our reigning PS3 champion do to the Red Bull driver?
Not a lot right now.
Well, I don't know. He's within flap region. Flaps are go-go.
But he and Mark both have to get a move on.
By the way, the Genie has got past Calvin, and he's escaped the flap zone. Calvin does not have flaps ahoy. Oh, Frank Martin has popped into the YouTube chat saying it's an eye operation and was kicked out of MRC for inactivity, and he wants to rejoin. Please message one of the admins and we will get back to you. Alex Jarek says, Faven, only one I know in Qatar. Actually, Mr. Qatar, I know 3 people in Qatar and I love you the most. So, yes.
Who's the other 2?
My friend's dad and his friend.
Wow.
I know. I'm not going to name names because GDPR. Anyway, Alex Jarek, I love you, brother. You are a very good man. I like you a lot. But I don't like it when I fight you because you're very fast. Anyway, the Genie, without any penalty by the way, is not that far off the corner with the Brave. In fact, we look at the penalties quickly. Mr. Brave has got a 3-second penalty, so that would put him just over 3 seconds ahead of Genie, who's on the nicer tyre. Could Genie steal P2? It's not out of the question, you know. Genie could take P2. He's starting to pull away from Calvin. Calvin looking vulnerable now to the Hodge behind him. As we go back to tyres, we see that Hodge is on the nicer tyre right now. Much newer mediums compared to the hards. We've got Fox River defending from Simba just behind. So there's plenty to come in this race there. We've got 10 laps to go after this one, so 11 to go. Manouche, yeah, well, no, that's not true. I just really like Alex. Anyway.
I'm going to have to do some verification on these comments.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave that there. Ah, Ghost Rider, that's your name. Ah, yes, I was the one that kicked you, and that's because you didn't reply to me. Anyway, we'll leave that there for the time being. We'll discuss that with you later, my friends.
Right,
anyway.
Go to the Discord link.
Yes, rejoin the Discord and drop one of us a message.
Yes, just message me again. But I wouldn't have got it when after you left. So send it to me again.
Simba really having a look at the inside of the Fox River, coming into the right-hander before the stadium. Here he comes, the stadium hairpin. The atmosphere in this area must be absolutely incredible. Bergen says he hears there are fuel issues. Well, Bergen, we know you're in a chat with the likes of Calvin and Thomas Brown and Carl Edens, so must be one of them. Simba having a nice DRS slide, bit of flap action. We're hay up the inside with a flap past the man, the myth, the Fox River escapee.
The Ghost Rider, I have sent him a friend request on Discord. If you accept me, I can send you an invite.
Alex Jarek has put a comment for you to say, Mr. Gav. Please, can you please state the comment from the Alex?
Purple burglar alarm. And that burglar alarm is going off right now because I'm in your house stealing your food.
Ah, I knew, that's not good.
What the hell was that?
I know. Anywho, so the Rob fan club are back in action, RFC all around. So Rob's now 4.6 behind Brave, he's got a 3-second penalty, so he's 1.7 delta to P2 in effect. And the Rob fan club, Oliver Dandelion. So we've got Dandelion, and we've got Jim Will Fix It, both supporting the NHS Genie.
To be honest,
I don't know what to make of that.
I wouldn't say Jim will fix it.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Mark's just gone past Calvin.
He has. Calvin's days just going from bad to worse. He started so well and it's just not quite working for him. He'll be keen to attack Simba through turn 2 and 3. Will he get the switchback? He does not, and Simba's got cracking drive on the exit. I mean, I'm looking at Calvin and Hodgie actually, not Simba. It's Hodgie. You lied to me. You told me it was Simba. Or did I hear it wrong? Who knows?
Anyway. I said Mark.
I took that as Simba. Well, I'm wrong. I'm very sorry, Gav. I apologise to everyone.
How rude.
I am now the flop. Anywho, so
it's a bit. This safety car is due out in the next lap.
Did you pay the safety car?
Lap 29.
Did you pay the safety car? Because I didn't pay him. So what? If you didn't pay him, it's not coming.
He is.
Well, we'll see.
Something's going to happen in the next minute and a half.
If you're wrong, no tequila. No tequila if you're wrong. Now, Williams alumni member, the new member, El Stubio, Morganio Stubalicious, is right up the rear end of Silla Fanning Black. Surprise, surprise. Simba switched off safety car. Well, if he did, he didn't mean it, but I'm sure it's not switched off. Alex, you want to see some mark-on-mark action, so we need to get Simba to get on with it, because Hodgie right now has got a bit more pace. Stube side by side into turn 1 with the Firecock. Jake on the soft tyre, really quick right now, but will the soft tyre last? Surely it's not going to last to the end. And we now have a Marcin and a Lorpy coming at him too, all to play for in the latter end of the points. Now, who are you watching right now, Gavster?
I am watching right now the battle between the Roostercock, Single Track and the Loppy.
That's who I was watching, but I've just noticed that Genie's now within that 3-second penalty range of Mr. Brave. So, Genie's now on for P2. I'm just looking at the driver positions here. So, Tom Brown, the pole sitter, down in P15. Alex, with the connection issues, P19 from P4 on the grid. And then Hoseman also dropped from the top 6 to the back of the grid. They're the big losers. Everyone else is either made positions or sort of are where they started. The big winners today are, of course, Mr. Brave and the Genie. They are the big winners today.
They are the big winners, and you're right. I think the key for them is I see Stube in the pits. The key is going to be, oh look, we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2!
It's an AlphaTauri. Tom Brown again! Tom, what's going on, lad? What has happened to Tom today? He had some ridiculous pace. Tom. Wasn't a good thing to catch on stream. We're not going to mention that there.
Wait a minute.
It on stream. That is a safety car. It's a safety car.
It's a safety car on lap 29. Seriously, it's a look at it, lap 29 at the top of the screen.
I see it.
I forecast
you
lap
fixed this.
29. I said it.
You did.
All I'm going to say is bow down before me. No, that sounds wrong.
Well, I'm not getting on my knees for you, Gav. I'm going to leave that there. Well, anyway, so take it away, Gav. Take it away.
So I am going to tell you some wonderful Mexicanness. Basically, it has a small thing in it that explodes.
Oh dear God! Please, Gav, don't do this.
So, and it's not that. Well, it's quite sort of bulbous. It's quite large. Technically, it's 43 feet. Right, that's quite long. You might be thinking there, going, "Wow," but it's small and it explodes. And when it explodes, hot stuff comes out.
I'm very worried for our PG rating right now.
And apparently Alex likes to experience that, because he's saying I might get into points now. No, you're 18th. But yeah, so it's if you can imagine 6 LeBron Jameses standing on each other in front of you, and then I mean, like if you wanted 6 LeBrons or maybe even like half a LeBron inside or on you, then you would know what this is. Now, of course, for all those dirty individuals out there, they would be thinking, what on earth is happening? However, I can tell you that Mexico has the world's smallest volcano. It is called the Cuox Comet volcano, and it's outside the city of Puebla, 43 feet tall. Now, Mexico, as we said, smallest volcano in the world. So if you want to go and climb it, you can. I'm looking at a picture of it. It's got a bit of green growth on it. You might want to get that seen too.
Speaking of weird names and things, this is where you told the world about blowholes last time you commented on Tier 2.
Yes.
And you decided, of all people, to name me that. Me? What did I do to deserve that, Gavin? Anyway.
Because you are the master of blowhole activity.
No comment. I'm a good boy, I go to church.
Aye, to get on your knees.
Oh dear God, I take it back, Please don't do this to me. Anyway, just quickly bringing it back to racing. Let's not be a toe and talk about things other than racing.
Can I talk about some Hornets?
Yeah, I will let you do that.
So, the Hornets have a sting in their tail.
They do. Do they?
However, well, they do.
Okay.
However, once upon a time, the Mayans fought with the Hornets. Now, swords and spears are all fine and good. If you ask the Mayans, attack symbol. Oh, that sounded a bit like Agnes Binkham again.
Oh no, it's not Agnes. No, please. I had nightmares.
Agnes out. Let's not roll Agnes out. A more effective method of scaring the beep out of enemies, harnessing a net of hornets and throwing them into an oncoming attack. It's basically like Wu-Tang's Clan's dream fights all rolled into one. Okay, they were killer bees, but we've got 2 hornets in the race, so if you fling them into battle, well, actually, looking right now, I wouldn't throw them into battle.
Okay.
Who's ghosting? Oh, it's a Mercedes.
It's the new strategy. So Toto Wolff said they were going to have a 400 million excess spend on making the car better. Part of that is ghost material, so they can't be taken out by a out-of-line Max Verstappen yeeting it into a corner.
Sorry,
wouldn't affect them anymore.
That's Valtteri Bottas in a Mercedes.
Oh, damn it. To be fair, yeah, no, he went Valtteri bowling.
Or Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg.
I still blame Rosberg for that, you know.
Which one?
Nico.
See, to be fair, I blame Lewis. Do you know why I blame Lewis? It's
because you hate him.
He took out Felipe Massa on many occasions in 2011.
I like to think that it was both of them were pretty bad. I'll admit Lewis was bad that year. I'm a Lewis fan, and I'll admit he was bad that year, but both of them are bad. Anyway.
Yes. Now, can I just say...
Go for it.
Mark Hodgson is in the lead.
He is, but he and Simba, the Marks, the single tracker and the Lorpy have all been brave. They've all stayed out on mediums. Everyone else has pitted for softies, apart from the 2 inactive members at the back who are no longer in the race. So, we've got 4 laps to go. Well, it'll be 3 laps, and the safety car probably comes in this lap. We'll have 3 laps of slap and dash to the end.
So, here's what I'm going to tell you.
1 lap of flap action too. 1 lap of flap action.
Hodgie will burrow away. Simba will burrow away. Womax will try and keep with them, but not succeed.
Well, I'm not sure. I think the soft tyre benefit is going to be massive. And the other thing is, Simba's got a 3-second penalty, so Hodgie in the lead, frankly,
he's gone
Womax
already.
is not who he needs to fight. He's gone early.
He needed to.
Simba's not paying attention. I'm no offence to Mark here, but
1.4.
no offence meant to Simba, but Simba was napping in the final corner there. Remax was paying attention, and Call Me the Brave has now got watch out. Single track, despite the medium tyre, single track's flying past him at the inside of turn 1. The lapped cars of Hoseman and Alex really causing problems, and Hoseman and single track now ahead of Brave. Obviously Hoseman's a lap down, but that's crucial for the end of this race. Single track now, despite the slightly different strategy, is in a very good position. Brave having a look at the inside into turn 4 though.
He would have been foolish to try and do that.
Will Single Track get the cut back into 5 and 6? No, he's not got enough grip for that. Let's go back to the front, by the way. Simba's holding on to Remax. This benefits Hodgie, who's trying to run away.
Yeah, but it's difficult to pass here. So therefore, actually, in the grand scale of things, your only way of passing is down the straight. And there's no DRS for another...
Ooh, Remax and Simba. Oh. What a run. Remax has just got out of the S's there. That's the warmed up, happy, soft tyre really kicking in.
That's not what Hodgie needed.
No. In fact, I'm not being rude here by the say this, but the laps Mercedes needs just to get out of the way.
Yes.
Get out of the way.
Rotterdam.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Rotterdam, that one.
Either way, it needs to get out of the way. It's a polite reminder. I might not say it politely next time.
1.1.
He's already in flat region. Brave has now passed Simba 2, by the way. Although Simba's got past him, weirdly. Not sure what happened there. Behind them, meanwhile, single track. Oh, Genie and Lorpy have a collision. Lorpy's got the corner, got a penalty for it. What's going to happen to Genie here? Genie on the exit is now surely going to get him back. No, he's not. And now Calvin's having a look at him.
Brave and Simba having a battle.
It's all kicking off behind as well. So we've got Calvin and Genie side by side through turns 4, 5, 6 and 7.
Oh,
Calvin running outside. Calvin's just hung on there. Is Calvin going to get the run into 8?
I'll tell you one thing. This is scary because the Ferrari sandwich or the Williams in the middle of it. Wimax is 6 tenths behind Hodgie.
The Williams is a good filling. Look at Brave now though.
Sorry, they're only going to get DRS down this back bit of straight. They
won't
get it. That's it. Once. So if Hodgie can just keep a decent run out of the corner, and I'm going to jump on board with him and look from the rear. 7 tenths.
We're just on board with Brave. Oh, we've got a yellow flag.
8 tenths. Oh, 8 tenths.
I think you're right. Hodgie might be able to hang on here. Brave having a look at the back of Simba now. Yep. Bit of weaving going on from Simba. You need to avoid weaving too much.
Just breaking time. Hodgie, breaking time. I'll keep the back.
We've got Brave round the outside in turn 1. Brave is Brave. He does send it round. He'll have the inside of turn 2. Can Simba get it back in line? He can't. Brave is through.
4 tenths at the front.
Let's cut to the front. So
I'm
looking back from the McLaren. Yeah, we're doing the same. Hodgie's just got to keep it neat.
He does, but Wimax is all over him, and the problem is when it comes to that DRS zone down the back straight, he could be vulnerable.
He is. We're on helicopter cam now as we go into the left-hander. Oh! Wow, Wimax nearly hitting the back of the McLaren. He is absolutely desperate for a move.
Wimax's rear end stepped out a bit there. That's totally pushed him wrong.
Is that the move done? Is that it? The opportunity for the move gone? Let's stay on board. Is Wimax going to send one into the hairpin? I think it's too little, too late. The fireworks are going off here in the stadium section. Wimax has only got one corner to the left to get past Mark. He's not going to do it. Hodgie is going to be the first winner of MRC Season 9. The Tier 2 winner today is the Hodge. Wimax takes P2. Call Me the Brave on track will take P3, but will he keep it through penalties? No, Genie takes it. Genie takes P3. Brave P4, Fox River P5 after escaping from prison. Good result. Simba P6. Oh, go for it. Hello.
I was going to say, I did call Mark as a dark horse at the start of the race. Both Marks.
But you didn't say he was going to win the race, so that was the curse not kicking in. That's the crucial bit.
Exactly.
Well played. Simba with a good race too, so your 2 calls there both made a good bit of progress, so fair play. Here we go, the first podium trio of Season 9 of MRC. And Tier 2's race today, definitely as we expected, much better than the race we had in Real F1 yesterday. Although that questionable celebration from Hodgie, I'm starting to think he needs to be on some form of register, but we'll leave that there. Happy days for the boys and Papaya in America.
This will get. Do you know what? After last season, this will give him the confidence again.
Yes, definitely. I think he needs that, and he'll be happy with that too. Happy days. Good drive from Rumax as well, continuing his good run of form at the end of last season, and of course, Genie back on the podium. He'll be a happy man. So the rest of the results here: Mr. Brave P4, Fox 5, Simba 6, Martin back permanently with us in P7, Lorpy, good drive from him in P8, Calvin. Busy race for him today, just didn't quite work for him, drops to P9. Jacob with the final point in the Haas P10. From outside the points, I've got Hornet in 11, dumbest Hornet in P11 I should say. Monster P12, Fanning, Silla Black P13, Stubalicious 14th. Carl Bit Edens P15, the Baby Hornet 16th, RS10 17th, a lap down as Alex, 2 laps down in P18th. Hoseman 3 laps down in 19th, and not classified Tom Brown. Unfortunately, the pole sitter did not finish the race today. Shame for him. Fastest lap goes to Genie, actually. One of only 4 men, 5 men in the 19s, the 19.7. Good lap. Driver of the day, I'm going to give driver of the day today to Genie. P12 to P3 the fastest lap. I think that's a pretty good stint, to be honest.
That's all right.
What's your thoughts? We can have two. Hodgie. So 1 for Genie, 1 for Hodgie. Let us know who you thought was a standout driver. We have got tier 1 action coming up, so don't go too far. Remember to stick with us and pop in later. It's just about 22 minutes till tier 1 action is go. Also in Mexico. I believe you have Connor and the race winner, Mr. Hodge, who will be able to tell you all about his lovely events today. We'll be talking about a slot, so stick around, tune in, and get involved. If you want to drive for us as well, probably stay up in the Discord. Have a little fun with us. But thank you, Mr. Gavin. You and your husky voice. I'm sure your voice will be back and better for next week. It better be.
Hopefully.
So I want to hear some Jenkinsisms.
There we go.
Indeedy. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Take care and good night.